Man plays music for blind elephants in an attempt to save them. Even from a distance, deforestation is a nasty business. The sound of whirring saw blades biting into a thick ancient tree trunk is enough to keep anyone up at night. Never mind images of trees toppling over into cleared out sections of once thriving forests. And up close, deforestation forces animals from their homes, an unfortunate side effect the people of Thailand knew all too well. Bothered by the aftermath of natural devastation, Paul Barton, a musician, hatched a scheme to give back to a species of affected animals, and the results were far more incredible than he anticipated. The forests of Thailand used to be filled with tall, skinny Tectona grandis trees for as far as the eye could see. These trees produce teak wood, which is a highly favored wood for furniture and decorative pieces. Because this wood is highly sought after, the country experienced deforestation at an alarming rate. In the past century, forest coverage in the country decreased from 53.5% to 31.6%. Population growth, development of infrastructure, expansion of agriculture, uncontrolled forest fires, and illegal logging all contributed to the decline. The timber trade not only destroyed the forest, but it turned the beautiful wildlife into slaves. Elephants were forced to haul heavy logs on their backs. Twigs and branches scraped their bodies and eyes as they were forced into this labor. From 1975 to 1986, Thailand lost another 28% of its remaining forests. Finally, the government decided that it needed to do something. In 1989, Thailand enacted a ban on commercial timber logging. This was a grand piece of legislation that passed as the country desperately needed to stop this logging epidemic. One thing the bill didn't cover, however, were all the now unemployed animals. Many elephants were left blinded from their hard labor. They lacked instinctual training and survival techniques. So how were they expected to return to the wild under these conditions? Luckily, Dr. Samart, a veterinarian, and his wife Kun Fan wanted to do something for these helpless creatures. They started Elephants World, which helped provide food and shelter to local elderly and injured elephants. Their motto was, "Where we work for the elephants and the elephants not for us." They began fundraising to help them continue their mission. Within no time, Elephants World began to spread online and interest from tourists began to peak. They became financially able to host more than 30 elephants and about 130 employees. As of 2018, the organization ran completely on donations alone. This was when Paul Barton walked into the picture. Paul was enamored by the piano after hearing an impromptu from the late composer Franz Schubert as a child. He was determined to learn to play. At the age of 12, Paul taught himself to play the piano on other people's instruments. Together, him and his father played music in a small seaside town in northern England. He went on to make this his life's work. In 1996, Paul planned to visit Thailand, where he taught piano for 3 months. There, Paul met Kwan, his future wife. He ended up staying there, and together they had a little girl, Emily. Paul continued teaching the Thai people piano as his line of work. But in 2011, while exploring the countryside of Kanchanaburi, Thailand, along the River Kwai, Paul discovered something that would ignite a new passion in his life. He learned about Elephants World and how the sanctuary hosted old, injured, and handicapped elephants. This type of place interested Paul, so he paid a visit. Paul didn't go to the sanctuary alone, though. He brought an old friend with him, his piano. He'd previously worked with blind children using music therapy and saw the impact it had made on them. Surprisingly, elephants and humans share similar neurons in their brains and have a remarkable memory. Both humans and elephants remember trauma, so if the piano could help his human clients cope with trauma, he thought the elephants could benefit from his playing as well. Paul pushed his piano all the way up the mountain to get it where the elephants were. When he reached the top, he set up his piano and began playing Beethoven. There were a few elephants around, but one quickly noticed Paul's presence. A blind elephant named Clara was closest to the piano and was enjoying a grass breakfast when the music made him stop dead in his tracks. He picked his head up, grass still in his mouth, and walked toward the piano. Paul recalled, "You're communicating with them in a different language. That language is neither ours nor theirs. There's something infinitesimally wonderful in a piece of Beethoven that connects me to that elephant, and that feeling is otherworldly." It's hard to tell who enjoyed the music more, Paul or the elephants. He made his visits a regular thing. He stated, "Some elephants get very close to the piano of their own accord. They might drape their trunk over the piano even." Paul visited so often that him and his family moved to the sanctuary permanently so he could always play music for the elephants. Sometimes even wild monkeys will stop by his concerts for a listen. Paul feels, "The elephant has worked for humans for too long. They were used in wars. They were used to deforest their own home. What's the little thing I can do as a human to say sorry for my species for what we've done to them?